ground.
Brodie Donegan became a household name under the most horrific circumstances. On Christmas Day in 2009, at 32 weeks pregnant, she was hit by a drug-affected driver on the Central Coast, and her unborn baby girl didn't survive. Brodie has since had 2 more beautiful children, but there was more heartache when she was told her baby boy Nixon had cancer. Emma Murphy reports.
There he is. Yeah.
Story time for this pair of inseparable brothers. A special moment in many households, but in this young family it's treasured even more. Just 18 months old, Nixon Ball has already endured the fight of his life and won. Born with a large malignant tumour on his head, his tiny frame underwent chemotherapy at just 2.5 weeks old.
I think I just had a good cry for about 10 minutes and then basically sucked it up because there was nothing we can do. We just had to be strong for him. He needed us.
After 30 weeks of treatment, 6 surgeries and multiple blood and platelet transfusions, Nixon's now in remission. His next hurdle, innovative plastic surgery, which involves using implants to grow extra skin on his head to cover where the tumour was removed. Unfortunately, it's the latest in a long line of challenges faced by the family. It was Christmas Day 2009 when Brodie was hit by a minivan that had veered off the road. Behind the wheel, Justine Hampson, under the influence of prescription medication and methadone. Brodie's unborn daughter, Zoe, didn't survive. Hampson was convicted of dangerous driving causing grievous bodily harm and jailed. The loss of Zoe's life was only legally recognised as one of the injuries sustained by her mother. 7 years on, Brodie is still fighting for legal changes to recognise the death of a fetus without the mother's consent in an act of crime.
To be able to have one breath be the determining factor between a baby being classed as an injury and like manslaughter is crazy. There needs to be some sort of middle ground.
It's called Zoe's Law, and in 2013 the bill was passed by the New South Wales Lower House. But progress has stalled because Upper House MP Fred Nile introduced his own separate bill, also called Zoe's Law, without the consent of the Ball family. Reverend Nile is known for his views against abortion, but Brodie and her husband Nick are pro-choice, and the confusion between the 2 bills has seen Brodie caught in the crossfire of an ugly battle.
They'd hold up signs saying, vote no to Zoe's Law with pictures of coat hangers, which were really, really upsetting because we're not trying to do anything like that.
But it's the abuse online that's been the toughest to deal with.
E.L. James and Brodie Donegan, 2 women who I alternately despise and wish they'd treated what ails their mind before wreaking such havoc. Isn't that a nice tweet? So that was sort of, nasty. And I just don't understand the nastiness. I really just don't, My child died. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to do anything other than help other people that might be in the same situation in the future so that they have that closure, that their child is accounted for in law. And to write sort of articles and then to just harass me on Twitter and try and provoke a reaction is, it's just, I find it just nasty. I just don't understand why people would do it.
Despite the heartache, the family still finds the time and strength to help others. Brodie's husband, Nick, has been part of the Build for a Cure team. He worked on this house here in Lake Macquarie, which will soon be auctioned off to raise money in the fight against childhood cancer.
It would be great to kind of get that extra money, to have that research, to be able to develop better therapies, if not for Nixon, for other kids in the future.
Emma Murphy, NBN News.